She doesn't say it out loud. She doesn't need to, because if you know how to listen properly, her silence speaks louder than any confession ever could. Most men miss this, not because they're foolish, but because no one ever taught them where attraction actually begins. They're trained to look for obvious signs, flirting, compliments, physical closeness. But real desire doesn't start there. It starts quietly, internally, long before anything visible happens. Attraction is not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It forms in subtle psychological shifts that most men never learn to recognize, and while they're waiting for certainty, the connection either deepens or disappears. Here's the uncomfortable truth. By the time a woman openly expresses interest, her decision was made much earlier. The signs were already there, hidden in how she observed you, responded to you, and adjusted her energy around you. This isn't about tricks or manipulation, it's about awareness. It's about learning to read what's already happening beneath the surface instead of chasing validation on the surface. Most men assume attraction begins with physical desire. They are wrong. Craving doesn't start in her body, it starts in her mind. Before she ever reaches for you, before she ever flirts or hints or touches, she begins to mentally invest. This is where real attraction forms, and this is where most men stop paying attention. When a woman is drawn to you, she starts collecting details about your life without effort. Small things. A childhood memory you mentioned once. A frustration you brushed off casually. A dream you spoke about without emphasis. These details don't disappear. She stores them because your presence has triggered curiosity, and curiosity is the foundation of craving. This isn't strategy. It isn't manipulation. It's instinct. Her mind keeps returning to you even when you're not there. She replays conversations. She analyzes tone, pauses, and energy. Not because she's confused, but because something about you feels unresolved, unfinished, meaningful. This is why men who overshare, over-explain, or rush intimacy often lose momentum. They try to force attraction into the body before it has fully matured in the mind. When a woman craves you, she doesn't need constant stimulation. She needs resonance. Your presence gives her something to think about, something to explore internally. And once her mind is engaged, her emotions follow naturally. Understand this clearly. If you've entered her thoughts without trying to impress her, you are already far ahead of most men, and far closer to desire than you realize. When a woman is quietly drawn to you, she doesn't stare. She studies. This is one of the most overlooked signs because it doesn't look dramatic or obvious. Her attention is subtle, controlled, and often unintentional. She watches you when she believes your focus is elsewhere, not out of curiosity alone, but out of psychological interest. She observes patterns, the way you move through a room, the way your tone shifts when you're relaxed, challenged, or passionate, the way your expression changes when something genuinely matters to you. This kind of attention is not surface-level attraction. It's evaluation. Her mind is mapping your emotional consistency, your confidence, and your presence. She's asking questions without speaking them. Is he grounded? Is he stable? Is he authentic? Most men mistake this silence for indifference and rush to fill the space with effort, explanations, or forced confidence. That's where they fail. Because when a woman watches you quietly, she's not waiting for you to perform. She's deciding whether your energy feels safe, steady, and real. If you remain calm, natural, and self-directed while being observed, her interest deepens. Not because you tried, but because you didn't need to. That's when attention turns into attachment. When a woman begins to crave you, something subtle happens beneath awareness. Her energy starts to align with yours. She may not notice it, and neither will most men, but her tone begins to match yours. Her pacing slows or quickens to mirror your rhythm. Even her posture and breathing adjust naturally when you're near. This is not imitation, it's subconscious synchronization. The nervous system seeks familiarity and safety. When your presence feels grounded and emotionally steady, her system begins to regulate around it. This is why alignment is more powerful than charm. You're not impressing her, you're resonating with her. Men who rely on exaggerated confidence or forced humor disrupt this process. They create stimulation, not connection. But when your energy is consistent, calm, and self contained, alignment happens without effort. This is how attraction deepens quietly. She feels understood without explanation, comfortable without reassurance, drawn without pressure. Mirroring is not manipulation, it's instinct. Her body and emotions are learning how to flow with yours. And when alignment takes place, desire no longer feels uncertain. It becomes familiar, safe, magnetic. That's why the strongest connections don't feel intense at first. They feel natural. When a woman is drawn to you, she doesn't challenge you to win an argument. She challenges you to reveal your emotional center. These tests are rarely obvious. She may question your opinion on something small. She may tease you lightly. She may disagree without reason or ask a question with no correct answer. Most men misread this as disrespect or arrogance and respond with defensiveness, explanation, or the need to prove themselves. That response tells her everything. She isn't testing intelligence or dominance, she's testing stability. She wants to see how you handle pressure without losing composure. Can you remain calm without becoming cold, confident without becoming reactive? A grounded man doesn't rush to correct or impress. He responds with ease, curiosity, or humor. He stays centered, and when he does, her attraction deepens quietly. But when a man overreacts, seeks validation, or becomes emotionally shaken, her interest doesn't explode, it reevaluates, silently. These moments are checkpoints. They reveal whether your confidence is internal or performative, whether your presence is secure or dependent on approval. When you pass these soft tests without effort, you send a powerful signal. You are emotionally anchored, and that is deeply attractive. When a woman secretly craves you, she doesn't overwhelm you with her problems. She doesn't unload her fears, insecurities, or unresolved pain. That kind of sharing isn't intimacy, it's emotional overflow. Instead, she allows you to witness her process. She speaks thoughtfully. She pauses before expressing certain feelings. You sense her thoughts forming rather than being thrown at you. This is a quiet invitation into her inner world, without pressure to fix, solve, or reassure. Most men miss this because they confuse intensity with depth. They rush to offer solutions, validation, or emotional commentary, but she isn't asking to be rescued. She's asking to be seen. You'll notice it in her eyes when she speaks, searching not for answers, but for acknowledgement. She wants to know if you can sit with complexity without needing control. She values your perspective more than your agreement. She asks questions and genuinely waits for your response, not for praise, not for comfort, for resonance. This is intimacy before intimacy. It's trust forming without obligation. If she leaves conversations with you feeling clearer, lighter, or understood, her craving strengthens naturally. But if you over-explain, overreact, or seek validation in return, the connection quietly loses its charge. Presence organizes emotion, and women crave men whose presence does exactly that. When a woman truly craves you, she doesn't rush the connection. She also doesn't drag it out with games. Instead, she becomes fully present in the moments you share. Her attention sharpens. Distractions fade. You'll notice her phone stays untouched, her body remains open, and her eye contact lasts just a little longer than necessary. Silence between you doesn't feel awkward. It feels charged. Not because she's nervous, but because she's attentive. Those pauses allow her mind to linger, to replay, to imagine. Anticipation grows quietly in that space. Most men mistake urgency for desire and try to increase frequency, intensity, or access. But craving doesn't grow through overexposure. It grows through intentional presence. She doesn't demand constant communication. She values quality over volume. And because of that, every interaction carries weight. Time slows down around someone she craves, not because she's trying to control it, but because she's savoring it. This is how attraction deepens without pressure, not through chasing, but through meaning. Most men believe desire reveals itself through pursuit. They expect chasing, reassurance, or visible effort. And when that doesn't happen, They assume interest is fading, but when a woman secretly craves you, your natural absence does the opposite. It deepens her attraction. This isn't about disappearing or playing games, it's about living your life without centering it around her. When you create space organically, she doesn't panic. She reflects. Her mind revisits shared moments. She replays conversations, remembers your tone, your pauses, the way you made her feel without trying to. Craving grows in thought, not in pressure. You may notice she references past moments casually, an inside joke, a small detail, something you assumed was forgotten. It wasn't. Those memories were being preserved. She might reach out, but not dramatically. A simple message, a subtle comment, just enough to re-establish connection without overstepping. This balance is important. A woman who craves you doesn't cling. She adapts. She meets you in the middle. And if your absence is respected rather than punished, understand this clearly. Her interest is rooted in emotional depth, not insecurity. Long before a woman expresses desire with words, her body reveals it quietly, not through exaggerated gestures, but through instinctive openness. When she's drawn to you, her posture relaxes, her shoulders lower, her chest subtly opens, her feet angle toward you even in group settings. Without thinking, she positions herself so she can observe your movements and expressions. These are not learned behaviors, they're nervous system responses. Your presence creates a sense of calm, and calm breeds attachment. Watch the micro movements. She adjusts her hair or clothing after you speak, not before. Her gestures begin to mirror yours. Her pauses match your rhythm. This is subconscious alignment, not performance. Touch, when it happens, is controlled and intentional. A brief contact on the arm, a light brush of the hand, never accidental, never urgent. Desire held in restraint carries more weight than desire displayed loudly. This is why many men miss it. They expect attraction to be obvious, but craving hides behind composure. Her body isn't trying to get your attention, it's responding to your energy. And when a woman's body relaxes around you, her attachment is already forming, quietly and deeply.